Have you read the book, The Psychology of Money, out of curiosity?
I don't think I have. Right now, I'm trying to grind through some of the classics. So I'm reading, oh my gosh, I read Carnegie's How to Win Friends and Influence Others. So then I moved on to, oh my God, Not Think and Grow Rich. I did Rich Dad, Poor Dad, but no, I'm reading one that was written like in the 1930s or the 1940s. I think it's like How to Think and Grow Rich is what I'm reading.
Yeah, Think, Grow Rich.
I'm going through a phase where I'm doing all the classics, but I am ready for some new book recommendations.
Like the greatest salesman and the richest man in Babylon.
I love Richest Man in Babylon.
So the reason I bring up the psychology of money is because you and I sounds like the same age, and I'll be 49 this year, so I'm 48. Okay. And I had a couple pretty big events throughout my career and not just my career. I mean, this goes all the way back to my childhood, right? Like we have experiences in our childhood that impact the way that we think about money. But what's interesting, like you and I, we were like when the crash happened, I was 30, 28, 29, 30, thinking that I was on top of the world because every year had been better than the last. I started in 97, it crashed in 07. So I got 10 years of thinking everything is magnificent in the mortgage industry, and I'm buying real estate. I got multiple houses, and then the thing crashed, right? So now the way I think about money is completely different because like you, it wasn't until like 2010 and it started picking back up and then so on and so forth. And you get yourself to a place where you feel like you're a little bit stable, then COVID happens and just gave a blessing to so many of us in this industry. But see, if you started in this industry after the crash, like you haven't really experienced that same thing that like Owen and I went through, that Dustin and I went through, that gives us that thought process of saving and the mindset around it, right? And being prepared for what could come in the next 5 years. So it's almost like you have to be coached by someone to say, hey, this hasn't happened to you yet, but let me give you the feeling of what that would have been like so that you can prepare for that. And, and maybe you can end up with the same result. You know what I mean? It's like the psychology of money teaches us that if you haven't been through it, like we all have our mindset, our framework around our money. And some people are very blessed by what was at the time a very difficult situation, but it changed the way that you plan for your future. And so many people have not had that experience, and therefore they have not planned for their future. And they're going to get to that age where it's harder to make money in this industry, perhaps, or something changes and they don't have that. So if you could somehow teach them that through the mindset that's necessary to get there, because you did go through that, it just seems like that's a very powerful, thing if you can get people to buy into it.
You have to, and usually you do it through storytelling and, being personal and being vulnerable and sharing some personal experiences. One thing that I coach pretty consistently, and it baffles me about the American society. We love to talk about saving money. Any household, any kitchen table, any high school teacher, college professor, save money, save money. We should be focused on how to earn money. Because Tony, you and I have lived it. It is super freaking easy to save money when it is raining on you, when it is just being poured in. And I'm not saying you're not working your butt off 12-hour days, waking up at 4 a.m. while you shave your head or your face. You're worried about that loan file that needs the CD to go out. I get it, lived it. But when you focus on doing the things that help you earn money, it makes it way easier to save as long as you can be disciplined in following some kind of a structure. Like I taught my children, look, we save 20%, we tithe, or for my family, we give back to the less fortunate 10%. If you're a business operator, you invest 10% back in, and the rest is what you live your lifestyle on. And then if you're a weirdo like me, I fell in love with saving and investing. So 20% many years wasn't enough. The past 4 years, no, that's all I could do, right? Because you said COVID gave us a blessing, and they did, but COVID also front-loaded a lot of my income into the first 2 years of a decade. So I'm still ahead. I'm still doing really well, but holy cow, I kind of want to go back to, can we just look at what it was like 14 through 19?
Yeah.
14 through 19. I'm not trying to be greedy, but just give me those years back. They're a little bit more consistent, a little bit more predictable. And I made more money each year, 14 through 19, than I did 22 through 25. But I don't know how long it's going to be until I touch 2020 and 2021 again.
Well, I don't know that we ever hit 2020, 2021 again. And, that's okay because that's like the unicorn years. But I will say that I do feel like, looking at 25 to 26 and where 27, 28 is going to be, I think that we kind of are back to that. I think that's the good news is we can look back at the last 3.5 years. And I think we can say, at least I'm going to say, that that's behind us. Because I do feel like we're in a more normal market. I mean, you look at the inventory is more normal. Interest rates are, not great. Today was not a good day as we're recording this, but it does feel like we're moving closer to normal. And so I'd like to think that 26 through whatever the next, let's say 5 years can be normalized. But if you don't, the one thing that you nailed it with I don't think robots are going to take our jobs in 5 years. I don't think you think that either. But there are a lot of people. There are a lot of people investing in the mortgage and real estate industry with the intent to take a lot of the available transactions off the table for those of us that are in the hunter-gatherer, what I would consider traditional retail, referral-based part of our business. There are people that have made significant investments in getting a fairly large portion of that, and another pretty big group that has already invested in buying up all the servicing to try to recapture all the refinances. So if you don't think those things are just done, like that has happened, they've already made the investments to try to come after your past clients and your future clients, and they're not robots. They're just big companies that are leveraging technology, and they think that they can capture more of that. So make yourself better as a loan officer to keep that from happening. And I think if you do that in the next 5 years, you're going to be fine. I don't think loan officers are going anywhere, but take on the mindset, like Dustin said, take on the mindset that it could be gone in 5 years, and it will make you better today. Like that, I agree with 100%.